Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today I have the all new 2021 Hyundai i20N line. Now this is the more sportier version of the well-known i20. Now this variant is exactly based on the Asta optional in terms of feature, but it definitely gets major cosmetic changes compared to the normal set of variants. Not much of the mechanical difference, but mostly all the changes are limited only to the cosmetics. Now the variant which you are looking at is the N8. Now it is offered in two variants, N6 and N8. N6 you can avail only with the IMT, but N8 you can avail with IMT as well as DCT. So this variant is the top of the line N8 variant. It gets all the features that are available in the Asta optional. Now talking of some of the technical specifications, especially the engine. Now you may think that N line that it gets some engine upgrades, but no, it gets the same 1 liter turbocharged petrol engine producing around 120 horsepower and 172 newton meters of torque. So the engine is unchanged, no changes over there. Yes, the steering has made a bit stiffer and the suspension also has made stiffer. The steering has got a bit more weight added to it, and the suspension, Hyundai claims that 30% of the damping is reduced. So we'll see how it drives later in future, but for time being this is the information that Hyundai has actually claimed. अगर आप सोच रहे हैं N, what does N signify? तो N stands for Namyang, which is the R&D center for the Hyundai, as well as it stands for Nürburgring, where actually this car is originated and tested at. So N is actually the performance section of the Hyundai, like it is the AMG for the Mercedes. तो ऐसे ही N है Hyundai के लिए, where they launch their performance oriented cars. This is not the proper N car, ये N line है. तो इसमें इंजन चेंज नहीं मिलते, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, इसमें कॉस्मेटिक चेंजेस ही दिए गए हैं. सो विल गो थ्रू ऑल द चेंजेस थ्रू आउट द वीडियो. देखेंगे कि क्या बदलाव है बाहर से, क्या चेंजेस किए हैं अंदर से, और finally I'll give my final verdict in the end that should you go for the N line, should you go for the normal set of variants, और आपको कोई इसका एक कॉम्पिटिटर लेना चाहिए, for example Baleno or Altroz. So watch the video till the end because it's gonna be a really very comprehensive and detailed review. So at the front, the headlights are the same units, but the grille has this checkered flag finish. That racing things have been just incorporated into the design everywhere. Then you have the N-line badging over there, and down here we have the red accents, and the bumper, if you see, it is redesigned from the normal i20. Now it houses more aggressive cuts and creases. They are not the functional air dams, but they are added to appeal a more sportier look. And down we have the projector fog lamp, and this is your LED projector with conventional high beam, and these are the DRLs. At the side we get a completely redesigned alloy wheels. Now these happens to be 195 by 55 R16. In the foreign, like in other countries, we get 17 inches one, but in India, considering the road conditions, Hyundai has opted to give 16 inches one. As well, you get the all four disc brakes. Overall, a very interesting design compared to the standard i20. Again, the N-line badge over there. Again, at the side, the main difference as such, we don't find much, but here we have small side skirts down below, again finished in red. ORVMs, they are electrically adjustable. Then again, now the performance, the braking has really got improved. In the standard i20 you don't get all four discs, but here Hyundai has provided all four discs with the i20N line. Coming on to the rear, again the first thing you would notice is the N line badge over here, signifying that it is the N line, not your standard variant. And one more thing, this is a darker chrome line that actually connects the tail light. In the standard one we have a bit shinier one, and the bumper is also a bit redesigned in the rear, and the main thing you would notice is the dual exhaust. Now not only it looks great, but also they sound sportier. So this is the exhaust note. So you can see it's a bit different. We'll rev up a bit more. So you can see it has a more sportier sound compared to the normal exhaust. So this is how the exhaust note of the new N line is. So that's a very cool thing, that a hatchback of this price point getting a sportier exhaust system, which will make the driving experience more enjoyable. At the top, now this spoiler is changed from the standard i20, and now this and this are actually, they are like same parts. The side wings, they have been incorporated into the spoiler to give it a more sporty appeal. Now this variant is actually all about the looks and a sporty appeal compared to the standard i20. You get the rear wiper as well as a high mount stop lamp and a shark fin antenna. Now the color which you are looking at is the Thunder Blue. You can even opt this in Fiery Red, Polar White and Titan Grey. But according to me, this is the color that actually suits the most. It's a quite shiny and metallic blue. Even the Fiery Red will suit, but again, those red accents won't be contrasting out in that color. But in this, it definitely stands out. And plus, we have a contrasting all gloss black roof. So overall, this was all about the exterior. I have shown you what are the differences in the exterior compared to the standard i20. Now let's go and check out how good is the interior and what are the changes in the interior. Okay, so now I am in the all new i20 N line. Just have a look first how overall the layout is exactly similar to the normal i20, but we'll go through all the small details that have been made to N line particularly. So right, starting from the door, here the first thing which you can spot is actually these finishes. They have got red inserts now. Just let me open the door. You can see more clearly. Overall, the layout remains the same of the door, but those red touches have been added. And here we have the speaker. Now, based on the Asta optional, you get the 7-speaker Bose sound system here. And here are the controls for your power windows and adjustable ORVMs. And you get one touch up and down only for the driver side, not for all the windows. Coming on to this digital cluster, now again it is exactly similar to what you get on the Asta optional. No changes over there. If you want to control that, you can control it from this set of buttons. If you can just show you, go to menu, you can press this button and it just changes the things, and then you can just toggle through this switch given over here. And then you have the control for your cruise control to raise the speed limit and to set it, to resume it. And then if you want to select any button or any function, then you can press this button. Okay. And coming onto the steering wheel, overall it's changed. It has much sportier lines and cuts to it. Now in normal i20 you don't get this steering wheel. It's a little bit different. Here you have the more aggressive styled buttons and overall an aggressive styled spoke. So a bit change over here, and it gets this hammered finish or the perforation you can call, with contrasting red stitching on the inner side. So it feels good. Nice sportier steering wheel. And here we have controls for your wipers, and here you have the controls for your headlamps, and this is also automatic headlamp. Coming onto the center console, now this is your 10.25-inch infotainment system which will support Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. Exactly similar to the normal i20. No changes have been made over here. So it's a pretty neat and decent system. Hyundai are known to make one of the best infotainment system of the budget car segment. So it's a very slick and touch friendly user system. You can just, if you click on the map, even the map is quite good. The display itself is a bright and has a nice quality too. Then coming on to the aircon vents. Now here again one difference that you can spot these red accents on it. On the standard i20 you don't get that. Even on the controls for your AC. Now this is an automatic climate control. You get the red accents throughout it. The buttons for your AC. This is for the auto, This is for your, if you want to on or off the AC, front and rear defoggers for the circulation in or out. And now this is your wireless charger, and plus also you get one 12V socket and two USB sockets. Now this being the N line, you get the red ambient lighting, but if you opt for the normal, you have the blue ambient lighting. You can't change the color of it, they are fixed even in the normal i20. And this is how overall the finish they have given, like a sort of continued air convent finish on the door. Those red accents do really make a difference, adding a sporty character to the car. And one of the main things that the gear knob is changed. Now this car comes with this IMT. Now there are two set of variants, IMT as well as DCT. DCT and IMT can be offered with the N8, and IMT is only offered with the N6. Like in N6 you get only IMT, no DCT. So two variants with two gearbox options. For the lower variant it's only the IMT, but this being the top end, it's the N8, and here we have the IMT. And the gear knob actually looks very premium. It feels very sporty. This is the best gear knob I have ever seen in a budget car like this, or the hot hatch I would call it. Very interesting design, and it says N proudly over there. And again, all the contrasting red stitching, if you can just see. Now the seat is a leatherite finish, and here you get the checkered flag finish, and again dual, this is the dual stitching and a red contrasting piping over there. This is your center armrest, pretty deep. You can store small bottles easily, and two cup holders, and your standard handbrake on this side. So this was all about the front. Yes, and one more thing to mention, that now this gets the electrochromic IRVM. The standard i20 does not get that. And here are your controls for your sunroof. You can just open it, and now even the roof gets all black treatment. If you want to open, you can just press this button and it opens up. And this is your sunglass holder, a very important feature. And these are your lights. You get conventional lights. Just let me close the sunroof. Now let's go and check out how good is the rear. Yeah, just before going to the rear, here you have buttons for your traction control system and for your start stop as well. And this is your headlight level adjuster and button for your view. Now let's go out and check out how are the rear seats. So starting from the rear seats, now the front seat is adjusted according to my height. For reference, my height is 5'10", and this is the amount of leg space that is on offer. It's really very good considering the size of this car, and it's a hatchback at the end of the day. Very comfortable seats. The recline angle is good, not too upright, not too recline. It's perfect. 3 passengers will be comfortable over here, preferably a child in the middle, and the floor is almost flat, so the middle passenger won't have any difficulties in terms of leg space. And overall the same thing, the same red finish is carried out, and your red checkered flag finish over there. And also you get the center armrest here, and here you have the 2 AC vents, again same finished in those red accents, and some small storage space and a USB charger. And here you have the foldable grab handles and your center conventional light. So this is all you get in the rear seat, and a bottle holder there. You can store a 1 liter of bottle, small, not a very wide, but easily, preferably 500 ml of bottle will be good enough in that space. And this is how the boot looks like. Here you get the parcel tray. You can even remove if you want to. So this was all about the rear seat, almost similar to the i20, the standard i20, just the red accents is added over here. Now let's go out and I'll share my final verdict, that should you go for this one, or should you go for the standard set of variants, or should you go for any of its other rival. So this was my complete detailed review about the i20 N line. I have showed you what are the differences as compared to the normal i20. Of course, it is based on the Asta optional. All the features are same, but definitely some of the cosmetic changes that we have gone throughout the video. Now the question is, should you go for the N line or should you go for the standard set of variants, because it's going to carry a price of around 80,000 to 1 lakh maybe extra compared to the standard Asta optional. So if you want a sporty look, a bit of that hot hatch characteristics, then I guess you should go for the N line, because it's worth, definitely it's going to stand out in the crowd, especially in this color and those alloy wheels with the red accents throughout the car. The cabin feels really very sporty, and overall the fit and finish is good. No complaints over there. Same as the normal i20, which is again good. No, we didn't had any complaints even in the past. I have reviewed the i20 as well. You can check that review. I have given the link in the description. And if you don't want all this gizmos like the sporty characteristics, then you should go for the normal i20. It has a much cleaner look compared to this, but this again has its own charm and characteristic. Now, should you go for any of the rivals or not? Now, the rivals are competes with the likes of Baleno. Then you even have the Altos. These two are the main competitors of this one, and the price point actually clashes with many other cars, but let's focus on these two. So I can easily say that this is the car that has the most features out of those two cars even. So if you want features and are ready to pay a bit extra for that, then i20 is the car to go for. Either the N line or the Asta optional, both are fantastic. It has been a very popular car in India since it was launched. So as always, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. Drive safe, wear your seatbelts. Thank you.